I don't want any trouble. Leave me alone.
I can either kick your ass while you're sitting down or while you're standing up.
I told you I didn't want to fight.
He's been given the name Badass, and he's a huge hit on the web right now.
Nobody know!
They say you've been leaving a bloody trail all across the city.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
Badass. That's what they're calling him.
I can't wait to see what this footage looks like. Appreciate your cooperation.
Hello everybody, this is Gene Star134 coming to you with a new movie review. This is going to be Badass. Now, coming into this, I was hoping for a little much after seeing the previews, and honestly, I was hoping for something a little more than what expected. There really is no way other to put it than it was really a big surprise. Now, my main favorite thing that really caught my eye when they put this movie together was it starred Danny Trejo. A lot of people know him as the tough Spanish guy. Don't really know how to describe him. And he's been in a very good amount of movies. He's been in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. He was in Spy Kids. He's had a good repertoire. He's one of those people that he's hired because he's tough. And that's what's to be expected. I mean, even his history was that he was taken from a prison just because he was a good actor and he looked tough. So going into this movie, you expected him to be nitty-gritty tough. Now, before I can even explain the movie, you have to know where this movie is based upon. It says based upon a story. Very loosely, I would have to say. This is based off a YouTube video where one guy harasses another older guy and keeps on arguing with him and arguing with him and arguing with him to the point where the older man says, "Okay, I'm going to the front of the bus. Leave me the hell alone." The younger guy, of course, is not going to listen, and he goes and tries to harass the guy some more, wanting to fight. And the older guy stands up and just throws a bunch of punches and kicks his ass. And at the end of the video, the younger guy is bleeding all over the place saying, "I need an ambulance." Now, this is a 5 to 10 minute video. This whole movie is based off that 5 to 10 minute video. Need I say more? So, not realizing the two and two together at first when I saw this, I watched the movie, and at first I was like, let it sink, let me give it a chance. It obviously, as soon as I saw the beginning, I was like, no, it's not going to have a high budget. So, I kept on giving it chances. Then I saw Ron Perlman, and so I'm like, okay, this is where the fun's coming in. Ron Perlman's always been a badass. He's been the tough guy. He's been the pusher, the shaker. He was in Hellboys 1, Hellboy 2, soon to be in Hellboy 3 if I hear my sources are correct. And he's also in Sons of Anarchy, a very successful TV show. Now, unfortunately, it was pretty much like he was doing a cameo in the movie. He only popped up a few times, and that was it. That was it, and very depressing on that point. But in other ways to explain this movie, it breaks off into 3 categories for movies. There are the great movies that exceeded potential that they could, and make up for what is really bad out there. And they really become one of those movies that's worth watching over and over again. Then there are the bad movies, the ones that have no plot, no story, and you just walk out of the theater thinking, what the hell did I just watch? But then there's the third category, the one that seems to be overlooked. And that's not just good movies, the ones that were okay, not really noticeable. This third category is covered by the ones that are so bad that they're actually good. And I can actually say this movie is categorized into that third set. This movie did not have a great budget, as I had said once before. As you can tell, I'm not saying that it had no budget, but it can be told that it's low key, no doubt about it. And one thing that I actually liked about this movie was because it was low budget, and it really played more on the characters than anything. In all honesty, Danny Trejo is a good actor, because he goes into this movie, he's acting off the script and nothing but. And of course the director is going to tell him to act a certain way. So to be the character he was in this movie, he was an incredible fighter. Well, not super fighter, but a good fighter. A Vietnam veteran, very tough, but yet super polite. I'll let that sink in for a couple seconds. Does that make any sense at all, people? Any sense at all? Please tell me. Because how can you be a badass, then be super polite to the people you're trying to kick the asses of? So maybe I'm missing a point. Maybe I'm looking at it as a little too personal, but it really did not make sense to me. But it made me laugh, because it's like, how can be someone so tough be so kind, as not even kind, but no, it's hard to describe. Professional, if anything. No, I would say polite, ungodly polite, and that was, if anything, the ridiculous note that really brought my attention in this movie. And it goes on from there. It really, I mean, the actors, even though I don't give them their light in the movie, they did a tremendous job. And if anything, it was just scripting. This was all scripting, and the story was very loosely put together. It's like it was very flat. It was very plain. I mean, for all sakes, there's a bus chase in this movie. And no, this is not like a car chasing a bus, or someone trying to get away from a bus by driving in the car or running away from a car. No, this is a bus chasing a bus. And that goes to show you that there is something odd about this movie. So, honestly, do I recommend it? If you like horrible movies that are so bad that they're good, then this is a movie for you. But if you want something with context, if you want something that actually means something or is actually well put together, then this is not the movie for you. But if you want a movie so bad that it's good and that makes you appreciate the actual good movies, then this is perfect. Danny Trejo does do a great job of acting. The whole movie has very good actors. But like I said, it just did not have the script, it did not have the budget, and it did not have the planning that it should have. So, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope it is informative for you as much as everyone else. Now, this is Gene Starwin, 34, signing out.